I focus on tax cuts because it's such an important weapon to get our country really moving. So we'll go from being one of the highest tax nations in the world to one of the lowest tax, meaning more jobs, higher wages, and more products stamped with the words, made in the USA.
All right. I think this next senator was at that meeting, West Virginia Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito. Senator, very good to have you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And you were there, right, Senator?
Actually, I wasn't there, but I liked exactly what he heard, what he said.
Now, in meeting with key Senate Finance Committee members of both parties, he seems to be sending the signal, we're all in this together. Tax cuts work. We all benefit. Now's the time. Let's get on board. Do you think the votes are there? First, on the budget that paves the way to get this done. What do you think?
Well, the budget vote's going to be tomorrow, and I do believe the votes are there. We obviously passed a hurdle yesterday to get us past to move on to the budget.
Right.
There'll be a lot of tough votes on Thursday, but I think at the end of the day, we know how important this is to every single working American, and to make ourselves competitive, more wages, more jobs. This influences everybody. I'm very, very excited about this. I think it's going to have the desired effect, and I think we're going to get it through.
There are some differences within your own party, senators. I don't have to state the obvious there, but it got a little nasty between Senator Rand Paul and Lindsey Graham. Maybe that's typical when you get this close to a vote and a lot of bickering back and forth. But there does seem to be a sense, at least that Lindsey Graham has, that Rand Paul will always be a no, and Rand Paul has that Lindsey Graham will always be a hypocrite and talk about cutting spending but never cut it. How nasty is this?
Well, each of them obviously are strong individuals, have their own opinions. I'm not going to get into the middle of that. I think what we have to say, feel free. Yeah. We have to adopt the attitude that we're all in this together, both Democrats and Republicans. And certainly, if you see inner Republican fighting, that is unhelpful. I think we all approach this from a little bit different lens, but the desired effect, getting more people back to work, having more money in your pocket, making our companies competitive globally. This is where I think the focus needs to be. Instead of nitpicking and challenging every small detail, let's look at the bigger picture here, and I hope that's going to be the prevailing thought when we go to vote on this.
Your Democratic counterpart from your fine state, Joe Manchin, said, as things stand now, and this was a while ago, Senator, so I might be dated, he could not be a fan of this tax package as it stands, that it's tilted too much to the rich. Do you think he has a point?
No, I don't think he has a point. I had a small business roundtable in West Virginia on Thursday. Somebody who employs 6 people told me that when she gets tax reform and tax relief, the first thing she's going to do is raise wages on her well-trained employees. That's more money. I think also when you talk about larger employees, they're going to be able to retain and keep better health care for their employees. When you talk about a communications shop, she needs to make an investment of $1 million for new software. That's what she's going to do to keep the 38 people she has working and expand to 6 more positions. So I think West Virginia stands to benefit for this. I don't know how anybody from West Virginia could vote against this.
All right. Now, to get those Democratic votes, if that is ultimately what it comes to, Senator, you've heard the line that Republicans have to do something to make it look that isn't tilted to the rich. Now, I know the fact is that the top 10% pay 70+% of the taxes, the top 5%, close to half. So I know the drill there. But they're going to demand a pound of flesh, presumably from the well-to-do, with maybe a separate rate, a higher rate than the 35% that would kick in at some level. Are you for that? If that's what it took to close the deal, would you be okay with that?
Well, look, we have to get this done. And so I think the dials are going to be changing, whether it's individual rates for wealthier individuals, whether it's some dial changing on the estate tax or something like that. Those are things that we're under discussion right now. But the bigger, as I said before, the bigger picture is what we need to look at. And this means tax relief for everybody. Every working American is going to benefit from this.
Do you worry early this week, Senator, when the president made it clear none of this is my fault? If there are problems here, it's Congress's fault. I'm paraphrasing here, but he isn't going to take the blame if this somehow fails in Congress, and he might, in fact, target you guys. What do you think?
You know, I think that what we need to realize that we're all pulling with one oar here. We have, as Republicans, the House, the Senate, and the President. What a wonderful opportunity. So I wish we wouldn't get defrayed into pointing fingers. You know, there's plenty of blame to go around for everybody.
Well, he's saying not him. He's saying not him, Senator.
Well, you know, that's his opinion. I guess he's entitled to it. I think everybody would share in the blame.
You don't share that?
I think everybody shares in the blame. I mean, you know, if it doesn't work. But you know what? I'm going to be an optimist here. It's going to work because it needs to work, because it's well past due. As you know, you talk about this a lot on your show. It's been decades since we've done anything meaningful, and now we have such a great opportunity here. We've got to seize it. So I'm not going to worry about if it fails. I'm going to talk about when it's signed.
And you're confident that would be this year?
Oh, well, I'm hopeful, but I think the end of the year is a good target date.
Senator Capito, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Very good seeing you again.
Thank you.